Today, on the WWE Backstage Report, we're talking Raw ratings, Bret Hart, Charlotte, Roman Reigns, the fallout from Monday Night Raw, talking a little bit about Payback, all contained in the WWE Backstage Report, where we keep it prolific, consistent, and dedicated. And as always, share my videos on Twitter and Facebook. The Chicago Screwjob finish to the WWE Women's title match between Natalya and Charlotte at Payback, according to PW Insider, was decided this past Friday. Once again, changes, development, shuffling, last minute. This is why some things are out of sorts, but I thought all in all Payback was pretty good, even if it was written kind of late and kind of half-ass. This past Friday, it was decided just 2 days before the pay-per-view. So you can see not much has changed in the WWE as it concerns that, ladies and gentlemen, right? No word on if they plan to keep referee Charles Robinson in the storyline. Well, as we saw last night, Charles Robinson was called out by Charlotte and Ric Flair, and then it ended with Charlotte putting Ric Flair in the sharpshooter. So that's 2 nights in a row that Ric Flair suffered the effects of Charlotte. And we all know now, at Extreme Rules, it will be Charlotte versus Natalya in a submission match with the WWE Women's Championship on the line. Despite being vocal about the company and Triple H lately, WWE Hall of Famer and former world champion Bret the Hitman Hart spent more than 30 minutes talking to Triple H before the Payback pay-per-view. There was said to be no signs of issues between Bret and company officials. Well, that's good. That's a sign of maybe, they've mended the fences. Maybe, there isn't a grudge. Maybe there isn't all that backlash. Maybe we're looking a little bit too much into it. I mean, although Bret Hart can have his opinions. Maybe Triple H said, well, that's your feelings. This is where I'm coming from. This is what I think. That's what you think. You think my matches are only 2 out of 5 stars. That's fine. If you want to put me in the sharpshooter, listen, if there's heat, if there's some bad blood, if there's some animosity, at least they were able to put that aside to have a solid 30-minute talk. Because listen, Bret Hart is going to have his feelings on what he thinks should happen, and Triple H is going to run the company how he feels, because Triple H is in charge of running the day-to-day operations in the WWE. So Triple H has one way of thinking, Bret Hart has another way, and who's to say that they can't just talk as, normal, regular human beings and put business aside. So that's good that Triple H and Bret Hart, for now, are seemingly on the same page. Monday's episode of Raw, the Raw ratings, which is a very highly anticipated segment here on Sean's Entertainment. The Raw ratings have come in. And remember, this is following Payback, 24 hours removed. Monday's 5-2 edition of Raw averaged 3,433,000 viewers, an increase we see in up from last week's 3,128 viewers. The rating was a 2.35, up from last week's 2.2. The show featured fallout from Payback, including Shane and Stephanie in charge. Hour 1, 3,458,000. Hour 2, 3,457,000. And Hour 3, 3,383,000, according to Wrestling Inc. and Show Buzz Daily. Viewership decreasing, which is also, a running theme in the WWE. Viewership decreasing in the final hour is somewhat surprising, considering the big AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson versus Roman Reigns in the Usos main event. And I'll tell you what, last night, coming out of, and I got also a Raw report coming over, summing up what happened on Monday Night Raw last night. Many fans have said that coming out of Raw, this is the Roman Reigns we need. The Reigns who kicked the hell out of AJ Styles. Once again, we learned of a submission match between Charlotte and Natalya. Shane and Stephanie were able to stay on the same page tonight, but how long will that last? So there's some little news and notes coming out of Monday Night Raw as it concerns feedback. Not really a bunch of news in the Raw backstage department, but it's something nonetheless. So ladies and gentlemen, the fact that viewership continues to decrease tells you it doesn't matter what the match is, it doesn't matter who's in it. Very seldom will it dramatically go up in the third hour, and we've seen the downslide. We have seen that number go down. That's why everyone says Raw needs to go back to 2 hours. The only reason they need that third hour is to enhance, to get more talent on there, to give different matches, to give different aura, to give a different experience, but we don't really see that third hour utilized correctly. If they started utilizing that third hour correctly, then I would be all for Raw being 3 hours. But the fact that, but once again, WWE is getting more money, more sponsorships, commercials, ads, the whole damn thing. Either way, even though the numbers drop in that third hour, the WWE are still making more money, and they're a company that's in it to make money, so that's what they're going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the WWE Backstage Report number 4. I think we're on number 4 now already. Your comments and your opinions on the Raw ratings, on Natalya, on Extreme Rules, on the Roman Reigns segment dropping. And once again, it's not a Roman Reigns problem. It's a creative problem, and it's a problem, the fact that, well, Monday Night Raw is 3 hours, and there's not many shows you can sit down and watch for 3 hours each and every week. That's if a soap opera was 3 hours. You can't really, it's kind of hard to sit through 3 hours. I mean, it's hard to write a show that is 3 hours. That's what it all comes down to. It is very tough for the creative team to come up with some different scenarios and ways to write 3 hours of television each and every week. It's a very daunting task, and it's not one that I personally would want to be in charge of. Now, when you're talking about 2 hours with the space of commercials and replays, well, then that's a lot better to work with. Ladies and gentlemen, your comments, your opinions on the WWE Backstage Report. More to come on Sean's View Entertainment. Subscribe.